Hi, I'm Linda Craft of Linda Craft and Team Realtors. And the state of North Carolina, January 1st, 2011, made a major change in our offer to purchase and contract. So real estate as you have ever known it in the past, forget it. It's all a new contract and only one way in which to buy and sell real estate, and that way is called due diligence. Now there's a lot of confusion between buyers, sellers, and realtors on what is the due diligence, how does it work, what are the benefits, what is the strategy for negotiations? So let me take a few moments and tell you my perspective on due diligence. The first is it's a good thing. The reason it's a good thing is in the olden days we had a lot of disputes about home inspections and who's going to repair what, earnest money disputes, and many transactions ended up in a lawsuit. That's pretty much come off the shelf now. It's going to be an easier playing field in some ways. The advantage to the buyer is the buyer has time to do property investigation. So when you write a contract, you will have a due diligence period. That is an amount of time that the buyer can investigate. During that time period, the buyer needs to get final loan approval, the appraisal completed, a survey if they're going to have one, all the inspections, the title search, and have time to review any of the homeowners association documents, bylaws, etc. So the buyer has time to make sure they want to make a final commitment to that house. So it's kind of like dating. You know, you go out, you look at houses, you find something that you really like, you fall in love, and you believe that that person or that house is the one you want to commit to. And so there's this engagement period, and that's sort of like due diligence. The only question is, how much do you pay for the ring? So what we are seeing most of the time is that for however many days the buyer wants, so they're paying per day, $10 to maybe $20 per day. The buyer wants as much time as possible. The seller wants the smallest amount of time as possible. So if you just equate time and money, you can usually negotiate to where both parties are happy. The buyer is comfortable. The seller has enough time also to feel comfortable about their sale and their moving. It would be really wise for buyers to get pre-approved. The thing that takes the absolute longest in a real estate transaction is the loan approval for your new mortgage. So get pre-approved. That'll take a lot of problems off the shelf. Sellers, you want to save a lot of heartache? Have a pre-inspection on your home before you ever put it on the market. Because most of the time the things that buyers and sellers have the hardest time agreeing over is the home condition, the actual inspection. Now during due diligence, buyers, you can change your mind. You can call off that wedding at any time for any reason. If you decide you don't like the inspection report, the appraisal doesn't come in the way you want it, anything at all, you may cancel the contract. And the only thing that you will lose is the due diligence fee that you wrote up front. That's a good security blanket for you. A whole lot better than having thousands of dollars tied up in earnest money and maybe dispute over that in a lawsuit. So for you, that's good. Write a check, buy some time, make sure this is the one you want to commit to. For the seller, you get to keep that check if they don't buy for any reason, and during the time that they're doing due diligence, we keep your house on the market so that you can get backup offers. Once that due diligence period comes to an end, the buyer's investigated and comfortable, we're at the end of our time, we now know that we can move forward with a smooth closing, because if the buyer changes their mind after due diligence for any reason, they would lose their earnest money and it would go to the seller. So if you think about home, shopping, buying, and closing, sort of like dating, engagement, and marriage, that's a good way to look at due diligence. I'm going to date and make a commitment to a home with a small fee, we'll call it the engagement ring, due diligence fee. But once I get through that engagement period, I'm going to get married to that house, or it's going to cost me my earnest money. I think it's going to be a good thing. Change is hard, it's a little confusing, but I really think overall it's going to be a very good thing for our market. Thank you. If you have any questions whatsoever, give me a call. I'll be glad to help you with this.